Okay, so this guy is getting a lot of hate right now. His name is Quentin Tarantino. He's one of the most famous directors in the world, but he's definitely a pretty big asshole where for no reason he just came out saying Owen Wilson, Paul Dano, and Matthew Lillard are really bad actors. But who really can't be shocked by this behavior because he's been a jackass for the last 30 years, and one time he almost got Uma Thurman killed. The way these guys met was doing the movie Pulp Fiction in 1994, but originally Uma Thurman didn't even want to be part of the movie, but Quentin Tarantino saw her in previous work and demanded her, so he called her up and spent over an hour and a half on the phone with her to convince her to say yes, which she did. And then from there, the two actually really started to like each other, where they realized they were both fans of samurai movies that came from Japan in the 70s and were into the whole idea of a revenge movie. So because of that, Quentin Tarantino had this idea to do a revenge movie set in the United States, but would feature a woman as the main character out for blood. Ultimately led Quentin Tarantino to coming up with the idea for Kill Bill, and he said he wrote the entire movie with the idea of Uma Thurman doing it, and he actually got to the point that for 18 months he moved to New York City just to live right next to Uma Thurman while she was raising a young Maya Hawke, just so they can write the script together. So they ended up spending about 7 years working on this project together until it entered filming, but one problem they had in production was there was going to be this car chase scene, and Uma Thurman really wasn't comfortable with it because she wasn't that great of a driver, so she begged Quentin Tarantino for a stunt double, but he said no, it's going to be completely safe. But yeah, Quentin Tarantino definitely got that wrong where the car chase was by no means safe and they definitely should have had a stunt double, so Uma Thurman crashed the car and because of that she ended up in a concussion and also badly injured her leg. So because of that, we have to enter this douchebag right here, Harvey Weinstein, who at the time was running the company Miramax, which was making Kill Bill. And he didn't like the idea Uma Thurman would try to sue the company, so he worked to make it so that she would never actually see the footage of the car crash, holding it from her unless she signed some contract that she couldn't sue, then she couldn't go to the press. And at the same time, he personally threatened her career, saying he was going to ruin her if she went to the public. For the record, Quentin Tarantino has said numerous times in interviews that he knew about all the crazy things that Harvey Weinstein was doing to women, all the abuse, all the subject he was putting women to, and he still put Uma Thurman in front of him. And then also at the same time, Quentin Tarantino has been on the record saying he could have actually done things to prevent Harvey Weinstein from being abusive, but he didn't, and it was mainly because Harvey Weinstein had this dirt on Tarantino. Because of that, the relationship between Uma Thurman and Quentin Tarantino is effectively over. They are no longer friends, and even though Quentin Tarantino wanted to do a Kill Bill 3, the reason it never happened was because of the relationship with Uma Thurman souring so much. Also had some really big public disagreements where Quentin Tarantino came out defending Roman Polanski, a director who did assault a 13-year-old girl, and Uma Thurman said he was disgusted for it. Things started to change in 2018 when all the allegations against Harvey Weinstein came out, so Uma Thurman said that Harvey Weinstein tried to threaten her after that car accident happened, and then from that, with the collapse of Miramax, she was actually able to get footage from the car crash. Because of the collapse of Harvey Weinstein and massive public pressure, Tarantino finally apologized to Uma Thurman 15 years later, and they started speaking again. Also extended Olive Branch, casting Maya Hawke, Uma Thurman's daughter, to be in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was her first big role before Stranger Things. So the stories prove Tarantino's on some level of the spectrum, and with that, I'm Charles Paul. Please subscribe to learn something.